If I told you that a car using the engine from a Reliant three-wheeler could be quick and entertaining, you'd probably laugh. If I then told you that the same car had no suspension and was designed with contact in mind, you'd think I was mad, but you'd be wrong. Meet the Rebels. Based on a very heavy-duty steel chassis with a fibreglass body that's a 5/8 replica of a 1947 Ford Popular, the Rebels are powered by 850cc Reliant engines that have been reworked to give about 64 brake horsepower. Suspension, if you can call it that, is basic. It utilises rubber sandwich blocks and trailing links with no modifications allowed. In fact, anyone caught cheating in the Rebels is immediately banned. That effectively rules out the checkbook racer, and the only thing you can do with these little cars is drive them. So let's have a look at some of them in action.
And away we go into race one. Very big field of cars, but already they're getting big time sideways. Now these are the cars that you can come and hire yourself at the International Raceway Stadium. Cost you about 150 notes if you want to come and race for an afternoon. And believe me, you'll certainly find out where the men and the boys are when you race in Rebels. Car 36 getting out of shape. Whoa, there's an airborne triple Salker with a toe loop as well. Wimbledon-based Richard Malem losing the liner from his front wheel. Let's just have another look at that. Gets completely airborne off the back of the red car. Loses the sidewall, the spare sidewall that they put on these cars. Takes out 217 in the process. Andy Kennedy from Breaston. But back in the race once more we go with these Rebels. Now that's not the way to do it. No sooner do we get started than number 16, Pete Jenkins, decides he's going to do a Harrier jump jet short takeoff and nearly ends up in the crowd as a result. There's a somewhat sad looking car there. Marshall's retrieving the bits and pieces under a full course yellow now, waiting for the green flag to get once more up to race speed. I don't think we've got much of the race under our belts yet. It's obviously a war of attrition. Who told these Reliant drivers that instead of racing Rebels, they were racing bangers? Car 43 up at the front there. That's Mark Tooby from Hatton. He's a well-experienced Rebel driver. And number 7 in second position, Greg Jenkins from Westfields there. Just losing position to 53, Graham Charlesworth from Brownhills. Takes the inside line. These are very grippy cars, actually. We haven't got much in the way of bodily fluids from bangers on the circuit, so there's not much sliding going on. 33 doing a fair amount of bouncing. He's going to be in the wall if he's not careful. That's Andy Milner from Tamworth, and he'll have lost a few places as a result. There's our race leader, Mark Tooby, coming through in car 43. And not many laps left in this first heat of the programme this afternoon. In fact, I think he may well be on to his final lap. If not now, then certainly in the next circuit or two. Quarter-mile short course circuit here at the Northampton International Raceway Stadium, being run in anti-clockwise order. There's a spinner there. Number 7 coming through the throng there, and I think that car's been damaged. It's not moving very quickly at all. Let's have a look again and see whether we can find out what exactly happened. Have a spinner in the front of the field. 33 goes very, very wide indeed and clangs number 7. Oh, into the wall he goes. That'll have deranged the front suspension. No problem whatsoever. So into the final closing moments of this particular Heat 1 for the Racing Rebels. It's going to be the win for Mark Tooby, barring accidents. Doesn't often make them up here. There he goes through to take the win. Car 43, Mark Tooby gets the win. In second position, Graham Charlesworth in 53. And from Coventry, number 23, Mark Rogers. And that car, number 77, David Yatt from Pelsall, trying to go in 3 directions at once. And still 33 and 16 trying to go sideways rather than forwards, which isn't really the way that you want to race a Rebel. Still, good entertainment for the crowd.
As we've just seen, one of the great strengths of this formula is the fact that all the cars are so equal. What happens out on that track is down to the skill of the driver and the way he uses that front bumper. Because just because the speeds are slower, make no mistake, this is proper stock car racing. Personally, I had a few doubts about the Rebels at first. I mean, they do look a bit strange, don't they? But after watching them for a few years and speaking to loads of the drivers, there's no doubt about it, they are a cracking formula. And I've got no doubt they'll be around for a long, long time.
A large field of Rebels, over 20 cars taking the start for this Heat 2 of Northants Motorsport. We'll show you the finals next week. But we just get up to racing speed now. waiting for the waved green flags to say, yes, boys, you may go. Very short wheelbase, quite twitchy cars, easy to clang them coming out of the corners, and you'll see plenty of that going on, no doubt, in their second heat this afternoon. There you go, no sooner have I said it than it happens. 3 into 2 definitely won't go, and number 3 definitely out of contention. Darren Clark from Haverhill decides that's it, game over. I don't think he's actually completed a racing lap yet. 33, we saw him earlier on. Andy Milner and Bob Moss in 82. Both sideways, almost as one, a synchronous pair, and both out of the race. Now look at this, there's an enormous, great mobile chicane building up as these cars swerve in avoidance. Let's see it again. 82 goes sideways, 33 goes sideways, 23 pushes 82 down the track and gets nerfed up the back end by 33 Andy Milner. Meanwhile, poor old number 30 gets caught up in the melee and just gets delayed. 827 gets away, Darrell Whitfield from Markfield. And still the racing continues. 82 waiting for a position so that he can insert himself back into the race. Or has his car actually stalled? I think that's the case. 56, doing a Torville indeed. Not the place to do it coming out of turn 4. Well, that's resourceful. I suppose you can reverse your way around the track if you want, but you aren't going to go as fast as going forwards. Oh, this is not banger racing, but you'd be forgiven for thinking that it was. Full contact allowed in the Rebels. The Rebel yell, I think, and the yelling is of the driver as he sees the entire field coming barreling down to him at full speed. Dave Morley from Belper in number 8 just disappearing there. 53. Graham Charlesworth from Brownhill, we saw him at the front of the race last time, but that's not the way to do it, Graham Charlesworth. Now, what's it done to his steering? Is he able to continue at race speed? Looks like it. 56 going sideways, sideways again and clouting somebody in the process. They really are built very solidly, these cars. I have driven one in the past, and I can assure you every single last bump gets transferred straight through the driver's body. A lot of these guys will be in hot showers or baths this evening trying to rest tired and aching muscles. 58 in your picture, David Moores from Oxford. Relatively trouble-free, but that might well change as Mark Rogers from Coventry in the 23 car comes by. Just looking to tap them out. 58, that's actually your race leader. And I think he's on his final lap. Yes, he is. We got confirmation. David Moores from Oxford holding the leading position. Will he hold it? Yes, he does.